Hello, and welcome along to episode 4 of Soulforged stuff, anyway.
Wow, already, holy crap.
We fought a kraken. We got a message from a king. Then we got on a boat. Then we fought a kraken. The kraken fucked our boat over, so we spent some time gambling at a pirate's den. And then we found our way on a dirty boat to another dirty boat where some dirty dwarves waded us up a dirty river. We got some... And that was the end of Michaela. Never to be seen again.
Okay, no, I'm back. It just all froze for a second.
Okay, cool. Yeah, fantastic. We went up the dirty river. We got some gifts from the small street children. Or river children, I suppose I should say, who rode past and sold you shit. We reached the grand city of Anoch Sul, literally the city of the sun, otherwise known as the Jewel of the Desert, or as I misspelt in my tweet, the Jewel of the Desert. I suppose I should mention we have a 10% off sale on our merch. Sure. I didn't know about it, but Streamlabs told me, so there's a 10% off sale on the merch. Anyway, today, first of all, I do not have playing with me Josh. Josh is unfortunately not with us today. He has gone out to stay with a friend. However, I do have playing with me Alora.
Hello, I'm Alora. I'm playing Karina, the ASMR wizard. Chronergy.
I have Jamal.
Hey guys, it's Jamal here. I'm going to be playing Gelthak, Goliath, Juggernaut Barbarian.
I have Michaela.
Hi, I'm Michaela. I am playing Winona Barrelite, the Deep Gnome Soul Knife Rogue.
And I have Jay.
Hello and hey, I'm Jay, and today I shall play Kylan Azarath, the Triton Bard of Eloquence.
There was like some beautiful rhyming scheme
so
going
much rhyming
on there.
in that.
That was amazing.
You did that last time too.
Yeah, but that's like that just
character.
flowed. Happy days. I'm a happy human. So anyway, at the end of last session, we rocked up at Anoch Sul. As you arrive at Anoch Sul, you sort of pulled in on a river barge, right, down at the docks, where you were helped onto land by a smelly dwarf, and around you were sort of squat hovels, various little mud huts, basically. Some people sit outside them, some people lean just in them. They mostly seem the province of very cheap traders. These traders are selling things that are very weird in their specificity. For example, there is a trader selling just buttons. There is somebody else selling pebbles they've collected from the river. Those sorts of things. So these are almost beggars, but with wares, right? As you look sort of through the gap of these mud huts, you see more mud huts that are even smaller, that seem to be used for living quarters. This is a really sort of dirty, poor area of the town, but even from here, as you look up, the grand gold domed roofs of the Grand Temple of Iskrandia, of Anoch Sul, sort of sit right up at the top of the city. You can see the fabulous Palace of the Elders, Palace of the Kings, the Hall of the Elders, and sort of beautiful, noble marble housing around. But one thing that will take your notice is whilst most of the buildings are white, the roofs are thousands of colours. All of the tiling done in different paints. And, it's a city rife with colour in general. And as you step off, you're already in the way of people who just come bustling by, and within a minute and a half, you've seen every race you've ever seen or heard of in your life. I hand over to you.
I can imagine the people bustling past, it's going to be a little bit awkward for big old Mr. Gigantic.
They give you a bit of a berth, but no, not really. I mean, just moments ago, you had an elephant come through, pulling a cart wagon of goods. There were sort of 3 camels going in the other direction a little later. So no, quite frankly, in this city, you're just another small fish. Though a bigger version of smaller fish.
Well, that makes a change. Maybe this place is alright after all. When you're not sweating your guts out. Thank fuck I've got this armour.
If you stand still for too long, you'll be accosted by various people, including a woman with no teeth, except for one just on the side, who comes up and says,
You should start moving.
Corpus, Coppers for me! Coppers!
Are we moving along,
Let's move
guys?
Grab Michaela's hand and just not Michaela's hand. Winona's hand.
Winona's head, yeah.
I was
It's
about to
fine,
give her a
I'm
copper,
flat
but
broke right now. I got scammed and
You
docked.
did. Which way are you headed? Are we looking to get involved in the residential merchant districts? Do we want to head to the Grand Bazaars? Or perhaps you want to try out heading towards some of the richer areas and see whether you can get your answers there? Or maybe you want to ask the poor folk and beggar folk from around you.
I don't know. Well, I was thinking it would be probably wise to head to where someone wealthy like a sheik would hang out. I don't know that the poor
On the
folks
other
would.
hand, you know what they say, right? The
What
beggars
do
are
they-
the eyes and ears of the city.
Oh, you have a point
Yes,
there.
but they also want paid, which we do
Which
have
I don't
some
have,
funds.
indeed. I don't even have a copper to my name.
Do you
I
not?
swear I need to go and get payback on that son of a bitch one
Why
day.
don't you have any gold, Gothic?
He spent it all getting into the pit.
Yeah.
Oh, I gave you guys like a kitty for the money to...
Yeah, it's noted.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
We have money.
Oh yeah, I just don't have any personally on me.
He
I
doesn't
guess.
have any
Yeah.
money, but you guys do. That's good, isn't it? That's all we want.
Wonderful.
Right, yeah.
On the other
Oh, yeah,
hand, I
just-
will say, if I was a sheik who just kidnapped a bride and was bringing her home, I would imagine there's going to be a celebration, which might have caused the purchase of a large amount of wines or food, shipments
good
that might be
thinking.
coming from the market.
So maybe let's start our search there
Mm-hmm.
for clues.
You want to head up to the merchant district? Great. As you guys sort of begin to move through the poor district, a couple of people sort of come and generally try and sort of get in your way, accost you mostly for money. Somebody is begging for food at one point. One woman uses the tactic of pushing her daughter and son in front of her, right in your face. And sort of generally trying to get stuff from you, but with a pretty determined and worldly Karina leading you, you're able to sort of break through into the markets, where an entirely difficult sort of different sort of accosting happens. As you step into the bazaars, it is much busier here than it was in the poor district. You're stuck moving at this sort of really slow plod. As everybody in the city is sort of moving at the same pace in the same way. If you're on the right-hand side, you can only visit stalls on the right-hand side, because crossing the street is near impossible. And various sort of men and women lean over the crowds, especially towards Galthak, who's clearly seen, and try and sell you everything. And sort of the first person is a large woman who sort of has an urn under one hand, and she sort of comes over and, "Are you interested in my great pots? I am the best potter in the West."
don't-
No, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think we're looking for pots right now.
You're not
Because
looking for
I-
pots. Perhaps you are looking for the things that go in the pots. My husband, he makes the wine. You want to speak to him?
Yes, we do, actually.
Come with me, come with me. And she sort of pulls you off to the side and leads you through a series of tents. And there is a fat man sort of sat at the back of the tent. There is a woman on the floor, sort of appears to be washing his feet. Another one is fanning him at the side. Talk at you. You have come into the great tent of Shasir. How can Shasir be of assistance for you today?
Well, we heard word that you sell fantastic wine.
That I do. Wife, bring us some fruit and some juice, yeah? Don't make yourself useful in some way. Don't just sit there looking. And then he turns to you and... So, I make the fantastic wine. You want to try some?
Yes.
Fantastic. And he clicks his fingers and a slave sort of shortly afterwards comes over with a bottle and pours out 5 little glasses and passes one to each of you. This sort of deep red, rich wine.
I'm gonna
Don't
look
mind if I
around.
do.
Is there any sort of like ledger insight?
No. What you see is slaves, his wife, There's sort of bamboo fans. Everything is gaudily ostentatious, but perhaps not really rich. Go ahead, Karina, and give me a perception check. See whether you can discern a few things here.
Could I run like a head comparison here? The people I've worked for and guarded before, they've been some fairly wealthy people. How does this guy seem to stack up compared to my previous?
Give me an insight check with advantage. Sorry, Karina. Your perception check?
11.
11. Yeah, you notice that, like, just underneath these sort of wonderful, ostentatious rugs and fabulous urns is sort of a dirt mud floor. The pots that they're using to eat and drink out of are really very poor work. Even the goblets they've given you are sort of gold painted. And Galthak, with that insight check of 13, you're able to notice that perhaps there's a little bit of a facade going on here. Soon the wife comes out with this sort of large platter, and there's grapes and oranges and apples and plums. Who's drinking?
I'll give a little sip and see how this stacks up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See if it's good enough to be...
Is anybody experienced with tasting wines? Not in real life, in game.
Somewhat.
Okay,
Kai,
yeah. Kai, definitely. Yeah, that makes sense. We know her a little bit. How about Karina?
I'll have a sip.
Does she wine on her travels?
Not. I mean, some. Not a lot.
So one thing you'll immediately notice, guys, is this tastes a little more like the fruit juice than it does the wines you've tasted in the past. It's a very light, very easily fruity sort of juice. But Galthak especially, there's a slight bitterness here.
Bitterness?
Yeah, it's sort of... It doesn't really belong here. You taste it ever so slightly. There's a reason why you taste it and not the others, but I can't give that away.
So it's something I'm familiar with.
Or unfamiliar with, perhaps.
Ah.
The others all said that they've got some experience tasting wine. So they're focused on the more
at least a
winey
little
notes.
bit with the people I would end up.
Would you ever drink on the work?
Not on the job, no, but
Yeah, so perhaps, some very rich vintages afterwards, but in general, certainly in his growing up years, I don't think Galthak would be experienced with rich Western wines. And what makes this interesting is you sort of taste this bitterness, and it tastes like something that you wouldn't expect here. Who's small? Winona is small, right? Is anybody else small? Or Luca is, but that's fine. Winona, go ahead and give me a constitution check. See how you're feeling here.
Oh, boy.
No, it's alright, you're not drunk.
Save?
Check.
Okay, actually, I guess it... regardless. But that's a
15. Okay, cool. So Winona has dealt with alcohol before, it's not completely foreign to the concept. But you couldn't help but notice that although the drink tastes sweet and innocuous, there's definitely a pack of alcohol underneath. They're trying to disguise how strong this wine is.
Oh. Why would they want to disguise that?
Well, who knows? Shasib looks at you and... So how can Shasib be of assistance? You are just wanting to purchase the wine? Is that what it is?
This is a fine.
Yes, it is. It is very good. And it is only 35 gold pieces for a bottle.
Okay. Might be a little rich for our blood.
Oh.
But...
You are looking like you're carrying lots of money, no? And he sort of looks at you all and thinks you're a little richer than that.
We're not carrying any gold on our persons. I'm sure it's in a bag of holding right now.
We spent a lot just getting here, is the thing.
Ah, you are travelers from far, far away, is that the case? Very good. Where are you from?
All over, as you can see, and I will motion to how diverse our group is.
Oh, that's clever. Okay, yeah, because that's not lying in the slightest. He said, Shasib is from far away as well, from the desert lands up to the north. But Shasib come to the big city to get rich. I like the money. He sort of looks at you and... So how many bottles are you interested in purchasing? You are interested in purchasing, right? Or perhaps you are interested in other wares. And he leans down and sort of pulls the girl up and, Rama, show yourself! And this, she's wearing a sort of cute, like almost bikini sort of outfit with frilly stuff, and she begins to sort of do a little belly dance. And, I will sell her to you, 250 gold. She is beautiful, no? She is very good at the massage as well. Let me show you. And she'll sort of begin to move behind Kai as if to offer a massage.
Are you accepting the massage?
Well, she won't unless you accept, but she sort of waits there, and or perhaps you are interested in the finest of oils. You see, we have the massaging oils back here. My uncle, he sells them to me. I bring them to you. And he brings out sort of this tray from the side of all these different oils. He's going to continue to try and sell you everything in the planet.
Yeah. What was his name again?
Oh, yeah.
Shasib is willing to help you. As long as you are willing to help him.
Absolutely. You seem like a fine businessman. We're... What?
Please speak your mind. It is clear that you have something on it.
Well, we are looking for other fine merchants such as yourself that sell, very high quality wares. We're just trying to scout around, see, we wanted to see all the options.
You cannot just come in and sample all the excellent things without paying some money,
Don't worry.
You were offered that for free, I believe.
I never said it was free. I only said, would you like to sample the wine? But Shasib is a generous person. I am not saying that you must pay. I am just saying that, courtesy as courtesy does. You have enjoyed my wine and my fruit and my wife. She is beautiful, no? You have had the wonders of enjoying her company. And now I am just saying, if you will go around just sampling all the merchants of Anoch Sul, well, you could get fat on such a living,
We will gladly pay for your samples. Don't worry about that.
But it is not samples we're talking about, right? These samples, there's just small things, little things. We don't need to be charging 2 gold here and 2 gold there for these samples. What I'm saying is, perhaps if you have enjoyed the wine, you should take a bottle away with you or two. But...
Do you ever do larger sales of wine?
You want extra? Indeed. I have 6 cases out the back. You want them all? I would charge you but 3,400 gold. It is nice and cheap, no?
No.
It is not a good deal? You don't like the wine?
A little too light for my taste.
Wow.
Maybe you just haven't discovered the secret of the Shasib special. You must drink some more and then you will understand that the wine, it is not a weak wine. It is a special strong wine. It makes you big and strong like the big man here, And he sort of looks up at Galva.
There's one missing ingredient here to being this big and strong. A lifestyle with many, many elk and caribou, my friend.
Suddenly,
the ice steps.
Shasib just sort of relaxes back. He leans back into his chair and he clicks. And his Masu servant comes to the side and his wife begins to step away. Those of you who have a decent passive insight will be aware that something's going on here.
Oh, yeah.
And sort of stepping into the building is a gentleman who has a sword at either hip. And he sort of looks at you and... but you are new to the city, no?
Very new.
From where have you traveled? That is what I want to know.
All over?
All over the place.
But we come from the Pirate Isles.
You come from the Pirate Isles. This is making sense why you are being secretive, no? You arrive on a barge, but leave it behind. You bring no goods. You have a very big man. And yet, you don't seem to be looking for anything specific, which tells me that you're looking for something very specific. The city guard do not brook strangers who appear to be acting a little curious, no?
The guy who came in with the 2 swords.
That's who's talking.
Well,
Does he appear to be a city guard?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
There are very few people armed within the bazaar area. And he sort of looks at you and... But there is nothing wrong with acting curious. Just let us know exactly what it is you have come to the city for. Then we shall leave you to be in peace, no?
Well, at least it's good to know that someone's very alert.
But we are always alert when people are acting curious. My friend here, Shasib, he is very informative, you know.
Yes.
Is it that
Shasib
curious
is
for people to
great.
come into town? Does that not happen every day?
But they do. But they bringing the wares when they coming up the river, no?
How often do you have people that come up without wares then?
Slaves, all the time.
But free men?
You come with no slaves and no cargo? No, we don't see this very often.
Oh.
Nobody said we didn't have cargo.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not accusing you. I'm just saying it is unusual, so we are asking the questions. Perhaps you have the cargo. Perhaps you have the purpose. I just want to know why you are acting so curious. So what is it you are looking for in Anoch Sul? Travelers from all over the place.
Your fine goods is what we're looking for. You know. Wait, hold on. What is this place known for? Their wine?
You're talking
Sure.
to the guard. Anoch Sul is known for everything.
Okay, great.
Primarily for gold.
That's fine. That's fine. Yes, we are, as we said, travelers from the Pirate Isles, and we like to enjoy the finer things, and we know your lovely city is known for having the finest of all things.
Is that so? Make me a deception check.
Sure. Don't worry, guys. I got this. Nope. Oh, maybe. What? Maybe? 16.
Why is it that you're the one doing the lying? As I see the
That's what I want to know. Where's the bard?
Where is the bard? Kai, are you adding anything to this, or are you?
It's getting a massage.
Oh, yes, that is true.
No. They are not.
No, I know they're not. But yeah. Well, regardless, he sort of looks at you and, well, if that is so, you're coming to buy. What is it in particular that you are interested in? Wares? Perhaps this guard can guide you through the city, no? Or perhaps our great friend Shasib already has it.
You might just... we're looking for fine things, wine, such as...
Shasib looks at you and... But you're not interested in my wine, no?
Didn't say that.
No one said that.
But not in case. Perhaps I can interest you in a bottle or two to go with it on your ways. The guard sort of looks at you and... He looks from side to side and your curious behavior will be followed. And then he sort of nods and steps out.
Fine. Okay, he's left the room, right?
Yeah, Shasib now looks at you and suddenly the wife comes back, the platter comes back, the slave comes back, and he suddenly, so we are doing trade, yes? What is it we are trading?
I don't
Please tell
much
me.
like a merchant who calls the city guard on new clientele.
But Shasib is just looking after his interests, you know?
Barely
I'm
been
just
here
saying.
5 minutes.
But the merchant who plays nice with the guard can get very interesting goods. And then he sort of waves his hand at you for a moment, and then his wife brings in this sort of strange plant. Karina, give me a nature check with advantage when you see this.
Uh, 21.
Yeah, that's a drug from the Spice Isles. It's a narcotic for smoking. Looks at you, I tell you, I can get all the fine things, because the guards, they know not to look too closely at Shasib. So tell me, what is it you're really looking for? I can be of assistance.
Along with some wine, we're looking for some information.
Everybody is trading information in Anoch Sul. Welcome, you're fit right in. What would you like to know? Shasib, he knows many things.
Okay. before I ask, what's the title? What's the title of the guy?
The title of...
Sheik?
What do you mean?
Just...
Oh, the Sheik? Yeah, so
Sheik.
Sheik just means, like, he's a ruling lord, basically. He owns his own household. There are many Sheiks.
He's not like the boss of this whole place, though, right?
No. He's just one of the many house rulers. If he was the boss of this place, he would live here, and you wouldn't be looking for this information.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, wondering if you or someone you know may have dealt with or sold stuff to a sheik.
Many Sheiks. Many Sheiks. Many households, you know. Shasib is very popular. You can give me an insight check on that guy.
Yeah. That's a 22.
Yeah, he's telling the truth, but bending it to the extreme. He's definitely sold something to a sheik, maybe once or twice. He's not constantly in dealings with them. You're in the poorer part of the merchants' district still, you know? Shasib makes his money on information. And on informing the guards.
I'm gonna take out a few coins and sort of just twirl them in my hand. And, what names would they go by that you've dealt with?
Oh, many sheiks, you know. Fazdilruk, and the Vakrams, and the Thamtars, and Namar, and Jawar, and Mujo, and Jayad, and Nasul, and he begins to just list hundreds of sheiks off like he knows them all. He never mentions Arman Jadir.
Damn it.
Okay.
Seems very clear that he can't help us.
You are looking for somebody in specific. I cannot name every sheik in the city. Come on! Give me a name and I will give you the information.
You should know that information is power. Giving you the information gives you power.
He sort of looks at you and he has a little think to himself and... Perhaps you are looking for somebody a little dangerous. I suggest you look elsewhere. Will you be buying some wine when you leave?
We'll buy a bottle.
Very good, 30 gold. It's nice, cheap discount. And he puts a bottle of wine on the table.
Okay. I pay him the full 35.
Okay. Thank you. The slave begins sort of waving, like fanning you and pushing you out the door.
So he's scared of some of the more powerful ones, huh?
Perhaps.
Seems so. Perhaps we could have better luck in the more richer areas.
Yeah, I think we should keep moving along to the more sought after merchants, maybe.
So as you sort of begin the plodding journey through the market stalls, you see thousands of interesting and exciting things for sale. Galthak, you'll be particularly interested in some unusual curved swords, which seem all the rage here, as well as various other sort of unusual weapons and shields and armors. Winona, you will notice a gem merchant sort of coming up on the left where they've got exquisite gems in their raw form, which is unusual here. Unusual at home, but here they're sold in their raw form and you take them to somebody else to get them cut. Kai, you'll even notice that there's some coral dried and sort of framed from your own homelands, deep under the ocean. There are things for sale here from all over the land, and Karina, you'll quickly notice that plenty of these goods come from nowhere near Anoch Sul. Exotic juices, and as you take a left turn, you sort of the stalls are still there, but nothing is on sale, and you'll quickly realize that you've turned towards the slave markets.
Oh.
Is that somewhere you would like to inquire for information? The salesmen here look extremely rich.
Okay.
Quickly pull everybody into a tiny circle.
Yeah, let's huddle up.
Posing as the household servant of a Manjbir searching for new house slaves. Would that get us anywhere?
Karina, you would already know that if you're to do that, you need to do it on your own, because these people, they're not Iskrandian. So all of his house servants would be Asamara or Tiefling, or Aeflings.
Never mind.
Oh, that works.
Never mind, indeed.
Yeah, it's fair to say that his entire household will be Aeflings, Tieflings, or Asamar. Obviously, you yourself might be able to pose as that, but yeah, you would have no reason to have a Goliath with you.
Yeah,
Unless
that's
he was
sure.
a slave.
I ain't being taken as no slave. Sod that.
Okay, Galthak doesn't like that plan.
I wonder how much you'd fetch, Galthak. Perhaps then you could afford a glass of wine.
He's worth
Maybe, but no, it's a
Anyway,
little bit hard to do with a slave that could break your skull.
You're not planning on pretending to be the slaver. Do you still want to ask information in the slave district? You would expect that our man is definitely somebody who would have used these places before, but obviously they are slavers. They're not going to be the nicest of people.
And, well, even as wealthy as they are, they're going to be, my assumption would be they'd be likely to have their agreements with,
There are hundreds of sheiks.
Yeah, but, you know, even when you're a slaver, you there's certain ones you really don't want to piss off, right?
Maybe.
Get on the wrong side of. So
Before we do anything, I would like to use my my psychic whispers power so that we can communicate telepathically. It seems like that would be useful.
How many people can you allocate with that?
2.
2. I'm assuming that
powers.
I'm assuming that you won't do Karina because she's capable of doing that herself.
Am I?
You can form a telepathic. No, you're not a Kalishtar. Sorry.
I am not.
Wrong thing.
Wrong game.
Wrong campaign. Yes, okay, so, sure, no, Karina is not, but Kai might have message. Does Kai have message?
No message.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep,
the
got
other
that from the
two.
level.
Yeah, the other two, because Luca's not here. Yeah. don't
So
form a bond with him, he's
Karina.
gonna give you nothing useful. Cool. So between Kai using message and Winona using psychic whispers, you can now all communicate telepathically. Ironically, not all with each other, but we'll just say that messages pass through whichever way they have to get to each other.
Yeah, we're playing telephone here.
Chinese
All
whispers is like, you said he had a dinosaur's dick? No, you idiot! I did not say anything. It just sort of passes backwards. That was a really obscure reference. I don't know if anybody got that. The dinosaur's dick reference. No? Just me? Okay, cool.
Can't even imagine.
Okay, I thought that somebody else would have got the reference. I guess not. I can't remember what TV show it is now, but they were at a party and they played Chinese whispers. And the guy at one end says hide or seek, and by the time it gets to the other end, the girl stands up and is like, dinosaur's dick? It's just, yeah.
That's how our messages are going to end up. But at least we have a way to communicate.
My stupid, obscure references aside, cool. Are you headed into the slavers area? As your guys are now talking telepathically. Do bear in mind something, right? You do know, guys, that she's likely to be taken to a harem, right? So, there is that thought.
From what we know, she was taken as his wife, which means his wives would probably be in his...
In his harem. No, in his harem. There's probably 4 or 5 wives, 2 concubines, you know. And I don't know, actually. Karina, have you ever really been to Iskrandia?
No.
No. So none of you. No, because to be fair, home or harem, you're probably not sure. You'd have heard of Iskrandian harems, like, you know, as reference talk. People like, oh, you're behaving like you're a girl in an Iskrandian harem, but you wouldn't necessarily know anything specific. So yeah, maybe it was home,
Then
maybe it's harem.
This is the place to ask around here at the slave market.
Possibly. Mm,
Do you have somewhere else you think is a better place to search, Kai?
not in mind. It's just more how we go about getting this asking for information then. Because
As you guys are having a sort of hesitating conversation, this sort of fabulous, really tall tiefling woman comes over and looks at you and... Excuse me, I don't mean to be of an interruption or an inconvenience. The big one. Is he for sale? She only addresses Karina and ignores the rest of you.
You wish to purchase him?
Well, I'm merely curious what one such as him would fetch. For research purposes, perhaps. I don't wish to make a purchase.
Well, if you don't mean to make a purchase, why even ask in the first place?
Perhaps I have one of similar ilk. And I wish to see how much competitors have offered you. Some information for some information, no?
Well, having only just arrived, you would be the first to express interest.
That's unfortunate. Would you let him go for 500?
This one, I beg your pardon, this one is a bit stronger than your average. I've had him trained quite well.
More than 500? Well, that is excellent. In return, let me give you some information, my lady. There are some collectors. He gestures down towards the end. The fourth road. Who are looking for the more exotic of slaves. And she gestures towards Kai and Luca. And then I'm Tirith. Drop in for a juice sometime. She makes a bow and wanders away, unless you stop her.
Nope.
Didn't think so.
Wow.
Does she
Oh,
think I am
Galak, we
some
should-
cheap-ass Goliath?
We could get at least 750 for you.
Try 700,000 and then we might talk.
Jay, roll a D100. Sorry,
That's
carry
right, Outback. Ooh.
Cool. Where are we going? What are we doing? What's the plan?
If we
Well-
don't think there's anything fruitful here, then I think just continuing on to like the, regular rich merchants, like the
Okay.
ones who sell very expensive wine. If we don't think there's anything to gain from the slave auctions, I don't know about everyone.
As you enter into...
Mondbeer could possibly have exotic interests. We might want to look over their shoulders, maybe stealthily, quietly. Winona, you're small and rather good at going unnoticed.
All right, no problem.
What exactly are you looking for? Just things that are unusual or not being sold openly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly that.
As you turn into this new area, suddenly the street's a lot more empty. And each shop they're not coming out and hawking at you. Instead, they're sort of more relaxed. There's like a sort of shop window going on, although these are all tents. Right, and as you first turn in, the first thing you notice is a sort of an area that looks like it's for tea and smoking. They've got these wonderful exotic sort of pipes, water pipes with tobacco in them that you can perhaps utilize. And tables with people sat out, and 4 women are engaged in a argument of sorts. I'm assuming you speak Celestial, Karina. Can you even not speak Celestial? Yeah. Cool. So basically in this world, Celestial, Infernal, they amount to the same thing. It's just Iskrandian. So that it's a mixture of the 2 languages. So if you speak one, you speak the other effectively. So these 4 men are sort of having this vivacious argument about some sort of rich man who's quite beautiful. And the lady sort of gestures towards Kai and sort of and sort of gestures you over, Kai.
Okay.
So, as you move over, she sort of... Oh, I was just talking of beautiful gentlemen. Please, would you like to join us for a drink?
Sure.
And sort of gestures to your group to sort of come over if you wish or don't if you don't, but she only pulls up one chair. And she sort of lays her hand out towards the table and please. At this point, the teapot on the table sort of whistles loudly and shouts out, "Tea time!"
The teapot says
What the?
I like that.
Does Kai react to the teapot yelling at you?
No.
Good. That's exactly what I was hoping. At that point, it jumps up from the table, the teapot, and moves over and starts sort of nudging your cup.
Okay.
The guys look at you and... Are you unaccustomed with these?
Yes.
Oh, you must take one! Please, take it! And she sort of reaches into a pouch and she hands you a teapot of tea time. A teapot that will every day at 4 o'clock whistle loudly, make piping hot tea, and regardless of where it is, like in your backpack. It will shout at you that it's tea time. And it'll keep nudging your cup. And if there is no cup to nudge, it will just pour. Now that she's given it to you, even if you leave without it, it will follow you down the street. So you're stuck with it. Goddess, the ladies look at you and... You are a beautiful specimen. Where are you from?
I'm from the deep sea.
Well, is it hot there? You see that she's like obliviously stupid. Is it hot there?
No. No, it's somewhat cold, but
Oh.
more accustomed to it.
Well, if you're accustomed to the cold, then sweetie, and she sort of leans over and lets her hair tickle your shoulder. And you must be mighty hot here.
Not really.
No, you wouldn't like to go someplace cool to relax.
No, I'm quite fine.
Oh, a shame. The ladies that are across the table said, "I told you we disdain your company, Riel. It's the way it is, you know. Some people are just a little more refined in their tastes." And she sort of looks at her friend, and then she turns to you and, "Pray tell, what brings you to Anoch Sul?"
Oh, just ended up traveling with the slot.
Traveling. Is this some sort of vacation, or are we looking for something specific? Perhaps this one could be of assistance. I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Norma. Norma Jayat. And she sort of says the second with some emphasis, like it means something. Go ahead and give me a history check with your charisma with charisma.
How's this work? Okay, so that'd be with the plus X. Oh, well, don't roll then. Whatever.
There we
go.
An 18?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. You remember this is one of the names that Shasib reeled off when mentioning sheiks that he had dealt with. She names herself as a member of a sheik's household, the Jayat household. And if she names herself as his household, she's a wife.
Oh.
Or a daughter, perhaps, I suppose. But yeah, she's a blood member of the family. She sort of looks at you and, perhaps I could interest you in some entertainment. We have a ball a few days hence. There's to be jousting. And a bullfight.
What are those?
What are those? She looks at you and... Oh, really far away. Truly exotic. Well, there are some unusual sports native to here, and there are some fabulous singers and dancers. It'll be quite the night. And this, she sort of reaches into her pocket and produces this sort of gold-sealed envelope. And hands it to you. Well, have an invite anyway. Should you wish to come, my husband would be most intrigued to meet you.
Oh, thank you.
What did you say you were in the city for?
Wine.
Oh, such a boring trade. That's a shame. She sort of gestures over towards the slave markets where you've just come from. I play more interesting markets myself.
Really?
One can never work out exactly what a man is worth until they have determined his worth. Perhaps you'd like to visit us at our dance. We can determine your worth.
I'll think it over.
I look forward to it. You were just leaving, weren't you?
Yes.
I thought so. She goes a little cold and frosty towards you. You're not sure exactly when that happened, but it seems like it might have been when you mentioned you were here for wine. She sort of looks away and... Well, frankly, we only could have had him if he was interested. Never mind, we'll find you an exotic creature for purchase instead. As you return towards the rest of the group, how's everybody reacting to watching this conversation?
My goodness, Kai, you can't go anywhere without getting someone's attention.
Apparently. They kept calling me a guy. It was interesting.
Have we seen other Tritons around here?
1 or 2.
They're rare though, right? Here at least still.
Yes. Very much so.
Yeah. Okay.
Were they slaves?
You didn't enter the slave market, so you didn't see any there. You've seen a couple walking around, looking free.
Okay.
You are just an exotic sight around here, I guess. Maybe
I
we can
suppose so.
use that. Did they tell you anything useful, or should we keep it?
Well, she mentioned her last name was one of the sheiks that merchant we met earlier rambled off. She invited me to a ball.
Mm-hmm.
A ball. With
Yes.
other sheiks in attendance?
Is she hosting it?
Yes. I don't believe that she's the one hosting it, but she said it was in a few days.
3 days hence.
3 days.
Does Kai have the invitation?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Does it say on there, like, who is
Yeah.
hosting it? Whose house is it?
It just says House Jayat.
Oh. That might be something, but we don't really have 3 days to wait around.
You headed further into the richer district?
Is she still around back there?
Oh yeah, the 4 of them are still sat there at the table.
You have a plan, Kai?
I have an idea. God, I'm blanking on the name. What's the name of the sheik we're looking for?
Arman Jadir.
Arman Jadir. Okay. And all these sheiks have been addressed by their last names?
Yes, the Jardir household would be the name of the household, right?
Right. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go back.
Okay, as you walk to the table,
All right.
the idiot girl addresses you and sort of, oh, he's back.
Yes, they're back.
Ah, I apologize. A distinction there.
Somewhat.
Us, ladies, we, And the other woman sort of cuts across her, and she means that we make judgments in advance based on what we salivate over. Don't we, Riel? And Riel sort of, I'm just saying, you're pretty. So, they're back.
Yes. So they're all lined up, because I approach and I'm just in the one.
Yeah, they're sat at a table, right? So 2 on one side, 2 on the other. And you come to the side of the table, so they're all in front of you.
Okay. Alright, it's clear. I'm not here for just wine. I'm here for intel. And
She motions and then sort of waves to the waiter. And as the waiter comes round, just some privacy, please. And within moments, he sort of waves his hand, and you get a sort of feeling of almost buzzing in your ears, like he's cast something over the table to enable silence from, like, nobody outside of the table can hear it.
reverse silence.
Yeah, it's Dome of Silence, actually. She looks at you, and this is the woman who was the Lady Giant looks at you.
Yes.
Information, was it? Now we're talking. But you are recently to the city. What do you have to trade for it?
Well, I bring plenty of coin. Or if you're not interested in that, I could offer something else, but
Coin is
at the
boring.
forefront.
How about your companion there? And she gestures towards Luca. It could be an interesting plaything, no? Or perhaps... Do your people have any traditional songs or dances or...
Well, in fact, we do.
That is settled. I will give you the information you seek, and you'll perform at the ball.
That's a deal I can make.
Good. What would you like to know?
I am looking for House
Jardir.
Jardir.
How are you? Their estates are a little ways to the northeast. Perhaps 4 days' travel. That's a journey that is arduous and difficult to make without a guide. I myself have always to teleport us there when we visit. And pray tell, why are you looking for Jardir? And she, like, genuinely sits forward like this is the first time she has been interested.
Well, I've heard tales of him, and I'm honestly quite intrigued by him.
You enjoy that kind of sport?
Can I get an insight check? Because I don't know what type of sport she's referring to.
I'm not sure whether Kai would have a clue. And at your blank look, she sort of turns to you and... Oh, that's not the reason you're interested in Jardir. Perhaps some others of his dangerous games? At which point, you may give me an insight check for what she was previously referring to.
11.
11? Something else dangerous, you would guess. She sort of looks at you and, sweetie, let me tell you something. Getting involved with House Jardir is, once you're in bed, so to speak, it can be difficult to get out. But I know a man who might help you, if you wish. His name is Himar. He ostensibly sells pearls. And she sort of gestures down the street at where you might find Hemar. And he sells pearls from the very bottom of the ocean. Fitting, no?
Very.
But I didn't catch your name, sorry.
My name is Kai.
Hi. Let's just say that getting involved with Jardir might leave you at the bottom of the ocean and not in the going home sense. I'll see you at the dance.
Yes,
You
you shall.
And she sort of, with that she'll leave you to it. You have a name, Hemar, and a trade, a pearl trader.
A what? What does he
A
trade?
pearl.
Pearl.
He trades pearls
From the
from the bottom of the ocean.
How luxurious.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yep. Return to the group. Well, I got a location. Its journey is a few days, and I have someone that we should look for, perhaps be a guide. They go by Imar, and they apparently sell pearls.
She did also
It was
point you
fun.
to the tent.
Yes. And they should be at that tent.
And how
So-
would he help us?
Did she say as a guide, or?
She said that
It's a
she knows
vague.
somebody who might have information for you on
Okay.
Jardir. She wasn't specific.
Right. Just said that you'd have more information.
We
Right,
might
that's
have
a
a
lead.
bargaining chip for somebody who dives for pearls.
That's good.
I believe we picked up a hat recently. He might be very interested in.
Alright. Well, let's go see if he has useful information for us.
Right.
Okay. As you head down to Hemar,
Whilst this is going
Yeah.
on, can I take a little look around my peripherals using obviously my height as an advantage? The guard captain before, or any of the guard, are they sort of shadowing us at this point?
there's a
Seeing
guard
me?
next to almost every tent in this district. They are paying you quite a lot of attention, yes.
That's fair enough. I suspected as much.
But they're not interfering, so...
No, as long as we're not being tailed by the guard actively, and there's no massive amounts of suspicion, then we're all fine, I think.
Mhm.
I hope.
Yeah, so you think at the moment. And as you approach Hemar's tent, he's a tiefling, but he has rings through his whole lip, and in his nose, his eyebrows, his ears. Loads of jewellery, and sort of gaudy golden chains. Sort of looks at you. Well, my friends, how can I be of assistance?
I'm looking at his wear.
Mm-hmm. He has pearls. They're sort of 20 perhaps on sale. Each one is sort of sat in a wooden box resting on velvet. They're exceptionally rich. But
These
he
are
doesn't think... He sort of looks at you and... Yes, they are, but you are not here for the pearls.
No.
No.
I didn't think so. Nobody comes to Himar for the pearls. They are but, how do you say? And he waves his necklace, which is pure gold, and sort of a gaudy distraction, yes. Maisar, come and mind the shop. I have somebody to talk to. And as this lady sort of saunters up, she's an Aefling. And she's stunningly beautiful. Sort of shock of white hair with a black sort of fringe front down over her slanted eyes. Beautifully sort of olive-coloured skin. She sort of saunters past you and relaxes on the table. Enjoy. And as Galthak comes near, she sort of pats him on the chest. Reaching it. We can talk afterwards, if you'd like. And Humar leads you out to the back, where this time the richness is truth. Right? There are sort of plush, deep red and orange silks. There's real gold adornments hanging around. And a serving woman sort of comes over and very sort of, without getting in the way, just produces fresh juice and grapes for you all. And moves out the way, and he looks like, please, partake if you wish, or don't if you do. But I cannot have a conversation without a proper passé à juice. No? And he sort of picks up this glass and takes a sip. And, so you are here for information.
Yes,
what is it
that
to
would
be?
be the case. We're looking on information about House Jadir.
You're looking for a man. Well, such information can be costly, and I don't mean in gold. Well, lucky for you, Himar has a grudge. But you didn't hear that here, of course.
Of course.
You see, Himar is helpful to all of the sheiks, you know? All of them. And sometimes they are not helpful in the return. It is problematic when this happens, you know? Because when one person holds all the chips, you don't want to try and cheat. No, you do not. He sort of turns to Galthak and looks at you for a little while, and then just... From the Ice Plains?
Yes. Yes. Are you familiar with them?
Please, do I look like I am somebody who has travelled all the way across the world? Or do I look like somebody who listens and who reads? Perhaps not just from the Ice Plains. Perhaps from Skeld. Perhaps you are of use to a king. Perhaps you are looking for a missing girl. Ah, yes, I think you are. So tell me, are you looking for the estates? Are you looking for the man? Or are you looking for the harem?
I feel like you may
Depend
already
on where
know
the man
exactly
is.
what we're looking for.
The man is at his estates. I understand they are putting on quite the celebration of victory. But the princess, no, she will not be there. On the guard, she will be. You see, our man is clever. He takes two women. One is the princess, and one is another woman from your soft fields and bright sun. At the party, he will show her off. But the real princess he keeps safe, where nobody knows. The harem. I cannot tell you where the harem is, because, well, Himar does not know. It is a well-kept secret. It is said that the harem of Jardir is a long distance from the city, from his estates. He visits himself, and there are meant to be, or so they say, 1,001 girls of every race and every kind that you can imagine. Now, Himar does not think there are actually 1,001, I'm just saying, for that would be quite big and difficult to keep a secret, but I do not know where the estates, where the harem is. I know where the estates are, but something tells me that is the last place you want to be.
You
Yes.
seem very sure about what we're thinking.
Let us just say that Himar does not just watch. Himar watches. And Karina, you can give me an insight check with intelligence for that, or an arcana check, whichever you prefer.
I don't think it's truly necessary, but
No.
I will.
No, it's
20
probably not.
Arcana.
Yeah. You recognize that he's employing magic to listen into the surface thoughts of your minds. And whilst some of you are being very tactful and only thinking of the short term, some of you are walking in there, sort of rather large, going, need the princess, where's the princess, need the princess, where's the princess? And as such, he knows exactly what you're looking for.
Cool.
He looks at you but as I said, information is costly.
We already know where the estate is. If you don't know where the harem is, what can you help us with?
A girl. She knows. That will be telling. This is where we must discuss a price, I'm afraid.
Fair enough.
What would you like in exchange?
Somebody who understands the way of barter. For what need does Himar have of gold? And he gestures towards like the solid gold chair he sat on. It's not literally solid gold, but there's a lot of like gold involved in the tent, and he sort of.
So it's not wealth then.
Safe
What's the
passage.
cost? Safe passage.
Well, as safe as you can make it. To your land of soft grass and sunny skies.
Oh.
Not for me, of course, but for the girl.
You believe she would have trouble leaving on her own?
I believe she would have trouble even leaving the room she is in, for she is being looked for by a certain man. A certain man that you are about to be hunted by anyway, so... If he is looking for one girl or two, I don't really see the difference. Do you?
This man.
What
Under
of
the
him?
employ of Arman?
Of course.
I thought as much.
Big man,
this
you are
what
not
you-
very subtle, are you?
Out there. Let's lay it all out.
He sort of looks at you and, well, it has its uses. And then he taps his mind and looks at Karina and is like, he has his uses. Well, we were discussing the girl. You take her with you when you go from here, and you take her home when you go home.
You can help us rescue the princess. You'll get no quarrel from me about that deal.
I can offer no help, but the girl, she knows where it is she ran away from.
She used to be part of the harem.
And she has become quite dear to Himar's heart.
Is this that grudge against Jadir that you mentioned?
No, that is just business.
Oh, a separate grudge against.
He is a cruel man. And when Himar gives secrets, it is understood that it is a transaction, you know, it is just business. If I know it, then maybe he should have kept it a better secret. But no, he takes his revenge. And petty revenge at that. My sister was very precious to me.
Was.
I was. This man you are playing with does not play about. I told a friend, a member of another estate, about a transaction that Jardir was currently managing. I found my sister dead in my bed. He signed his name.
Very bold.
Our man Jardir is nearly untouchable in Iskrandia, for he has access to the only bloodstone mine. And the king of Iskrandia, or the equivalent of, has a liking for bloodstone for his wizard's rituals. Jardir is not somebody you play lightly with. But
What is Bloodstone?
Bloodstone? It is interesting that you ask. I would have thought one with your abilities, but I guess from far away. Bloodstone is... well... allow a man a tale, if you don't mind. And with that, he's going to speak in my voice, because frankly I can't keep the accent up for the tale. And he will tell you of a historical tale where long, long ago the miners bled for the diamonds in the mines, and many, many slaves died, and their blood seeped into the stone, creating a magic where you could utilize their despair, their hatred, through the bloodstone, the diamond infected with blood. And then he will tell you that that's complete rubbish in his opinion, and that bloodstone appears to just be an unusual substance that's mined from one specific place. Winona, you've never heard of it, but Karina, you may have seen it mentioned somewhere in a text to do with necromantic rituals in your training at the palace, but only in very brief sort of mention. It's effectively it's a stone that has magical power, but for dark purposes.
The more I hear of this man, the angrier I am that we can't just walk in and end him.
Oh, well, indeed. Glad you should be that you don't have to walk anywhere near a man, Jardir. He is, well, a sick and cruel man. The worst thing is, he won't be dying anytime soon either. Unless somebody puts an arrow through his throat. A rumor is, his wizards have found a way to extend his life.
Probably related to that bloodstone you just mentioned.
Well, that is possible, I guess, but... Hima would rather that is a secret he does not know.
Fair enough.
You will take the girl?
Yes. Honestly, I would take them all.
A mighty cause, though you will be a little conspicuous going across the desert now. My Isar will lead you to the girl. She is well hidden.
What did he say her name was? Or if you just
He
gonna
didn't.
type it in chat.
Yes.
Maya Sar is the girl who's at the front desk who propositioned Galvac.
Oh.
She will lead you to the girl. He hasn't given her name.
Well, sounds like another job, really.
Oh wait, Myasar is taking us to another girl who ran away from the harem.
To the girl who ran away. No. Maya Sar is like standing at the front of the desk right now with the pearls. That's not a very good hiding place.
No.
But she'll lead you to the hiding place.
Hidden in plain sight.
And with that, he will sort of look at you, and he looks out and he takes his dagger out and he slices his palm. He squeezes the blood until it sort of lets up a little drop at the end of his hand, and he drips it into his other palm and he holds it out to you. With truth and with honor. Unusual for Himar. And he smiles. Good luck, friends.
I feel like we might just need it.
I might ask. I don't suppose you could spare one or two pearls.
Unfortunately, they are not Himar's to sell.
Interesting.
Perhaps I should speak with Myasar.
I think you have a phrase. The tree is wrong that you are barking up there. Myasar is but a slave. Admittedly, a very well treated one, for she has this man's heart. But, no. My purpose here is facilitated by the pearls, but They are not for sale. They belong to somebody far more important than little Himar. You can give me an insight check if you like, Karina, but he won't tell you off the front.
That's a nat 20 for 22.
Yeah, there is
Nice.
a ruler of Anoch Sul. He's the only one who's above all the sheiks, so perhaps it's him that is allowing this secret trading going on. Because, of course, if he has access to all of the information...
You're saying I shouldn't grab a handful on the way out?
You can try, but you might find that there are a lot of people chasing you. And besides, there were only 20 for sale. So a handful would be quite a lot of them.
That would cause quite a problem.
And
Right.
Quite telling.
as you come to the front desk, Mayasa looks at you, and she's this beautiful Aefling girl, right? She looks at you and looks over your shoulder to Himar and says, "Is it time?" "It is time." Mayasa looks to you and, "This is going to be a long, long walk. Or run, I should say."
We are
Walk out-
being watched by the guards quite closely.
"Well, am I aware, which is why we are going to put on a show. Walk yourself
Great.
into the middle of the street and be ready." She looks at your pouches and belts. Which one of you is carrying the bag of holding?
Guess I am.
Cool. As you get into the middle of the street, she will run out into the street, grab the bag of holding, and run away. And you will need to chase her.
Hey,
We'll give chase.
Yeah,
Alright,
immediately
yeah.
making chase.
The guards sort of, "Hey, thief, come back, come back!" But don't move at all. You can see that they don't really care. And their suspicion is not on you because you're chasing her. She runs you down into the peasants' district. She ducks under the legs of an elephant. She steps around a bunch of camels, but every time it looks as if she might get away, she stops just in view, looking back for you. After a while, she leads
That's
you
nice.
on a merry chase all the way around the city. This craziness ensues. At one point, she purposely barrels into a stand full of tomatoes, which roll out into the middle of the street, and sort of a donkey starts to move over to try and eat the tomato, which causes
actually just
somebody's
having fun
other
with
cart to
this.
tip over. And all of a sudden, she sort of snaps and appears right in front of you as she misty steps. And she looks at you and, "Don't be distracted by that for a while. Please, come with me." And she leads you into what looks like it's one of the few marble buildings. Oh, I was hoping you'd forget. And
How could we forget?
she hands you back the bag of holding, and it is still full. My side is well paid for a slave. Come on in. And she gestures towards the marble building that she's come up towards, and it looks to be a temple of some sort, but as you look around, it's a little abandoned. There aren't many people here.
Huh.
it's like a religious building.
Yes, it is definitely a temple. And as you step in,
Lesser worshipped god.
there are bones hanging from the ceiling.
Oh.
She looks at you and says very quietly, "You must whisper in the house of Limbs Kragma."
Who? Does that name mean anything to me?
Limbs Kragma. Have you studied religion in any way? The look on your face says it all. No.
Absolutely.
Has anybody studied religion?
Would it be recognizable to me?
Maybe. Go ahead and give me a religion check with advantage. See whether you know anything of this. It certainly isn't something that you've come across in your day-to-day.
No. 18.
An 18. Yeah, you vaguely heard of tales of Limbs Kragma. She's believed to be the god of the underworld. She sort of admits people in for the purpose of death. When they die, she lets them into basically hell. Right? She's Hades. And she's you notice that it is near empty in here, and at the back of the temple are two black-robed figures. Their robes fall almost entirely over their eyes. They stand deadly still. A necklace of skulls. Miniature skulls, like lizard skulls perhaps, around their neck. And then a woman steps towards you. Her eyes are replaced with black jet. And her mouth is sort of sewn shut. She looks at you and nods. Not to you, but to Mayasar, and puts out her hand. And Mayasar reaches into her pouch and pulls out what appears to be a human or humanoid heart. And places it in her hands. The lady nods, and Mayasar turns to you and gestures, leading you to the side where she then takes you into the priestess's quarters, where there is a woman. A human woman. With red hair. She looks to be about 17, 18. She's pale and freckled, with stunning green eyes, and she looks up at you. Hi.
Hello?
Hello.
Are you... Himar said he'd sent someone. Is it you?
Mm-hmm.
He said I might not like what I was asked to do.
It will be difficult.
Myself sort of leans over. This is not a place we can talk. Follow me silently. And she hands a black cloak, like a limbs crack, priestess cloak, to the girl and covers her up completely, so she's shrouded. And she walks out, expecting you all to follow. She leads you.
Flank the girl.
Yep. She leads you a short way across the hall, across the road, and round a corner, where she takes you into a sort of very, very large tent, where there are people eating and drinking. She walks up to the bar and she makes a nod and shows something on her hand. Those of you who are perceptive might notice it's her ring. And then walks sort of through the tent to a room out the back, which is very dark. You hear her sort of fidgeting about a little bit, and after a while a trap door opens in the ground. And she gestures for you all to go down. Galthak has a tight fit, but you can get down there. Once you're down there, it's sort of 14 or 15 foot tall, the ceiling, so there's plenty of space once you're down there.
No, that's reasonable.
When you get down there, she's sort of... Sorry, but it is good for us to talk somewhere private. Anyway, my sar is done here. It has been interesting.
Thank you for your help.
However unorthodox it may have been.
And
Thank you.
getting us some exercise today.
She smiles and... See you soon. And the girl sort of pulls her black hood back. There's her sort of ginger hair and light freckles. She looks at you. So, what do I have to do? You're going to take me home, right?
Absolutely.
That's the plan.
What is home for you? Where are you originally from?
I'm from a small town known as Erlos. Berwick. You would... anyone who is from Valaris would recognize instantly that is, like, pretty close to home.
Okay.
She's literally from a village a little way outside, a little way from the capital of Arvenia.
I'm Karina.
I'm Josephine. So, what do I have to do?
When
Well,
Ah.
just tell us the way to the harem that you came from.
I see what Hima was asking now. It is not a way that you can follow on a map. It's not a way that you can learn from instructions. You have to have been there. Literally.
Sorry.
It is magic.
Oh.
Or so I'm told. For reference, for those of you who know your Harry Potter, there is a sort of secrecy thing where if you have been told by somebody who belongs there, sort of it's what shows you the building. Think in those terms, right? She's been there so she can lead you there, but if she had never been there, she would never be able to lead you there. Right, so she can't just send you there because it won't be there.
Right.
Cool.
So she has to come with us.
She's going to have to go with you. She looks to you and...
Oh no.
It is 3 days across the desert. Or at least, it was for me. But I ran away on a camel. Something tells me, and she looks at Galthak, we won't be riding camels.
It was 3 days on a camel. How long is that on our feet?
4.
Camels are pretty strong.
Oh, okay.
Galthak is 9.5 foot tall and weighs 400 pounds. I don't think so.
Camels can carry 2 people.
That's true.
No, that would be...
Those two 200-pound people.
2 thick people.
I don't know, maybe they can, but that's a lot to ask a camel. Besides, you don't have a camel.
We don't have
But she says, perhaps 4 days? I got lost many times.
I know this is asking a lot.
No,
There are others there.
there's someone special there. We need to get her out anyway.
You do.
I wouldn't go
who's
home
this
without
person?
her. My sister Sophie.
Okay.
There. Are you guarded there?
Yeah. So, there's a fort. And at the top are his guards, and below that there are some more guards and some servants and such. And below that are some more guards and some more servants, but underground is the harem. It's beautiful down there, but we don't see the light of day. It is there we'll need to get into.
Past a lot of guards then.
How did you get out?
Must we talk about it?
I know it's difficult.
I used what gifts had got me there in the first place. There is one guard there whom I would trust with my life. He helped me get out. But
Do you think he might be able to help us get your sister out?
he might be able to help us go through a quiet exit, but my sister is well guarded.
Okay. Well,
She's-
any help is good.
One of his favorites.
No doubt our own target is well guarded as well.
We were probably going to be heading to the same place anyway.
Maybe we should worry about getting in once we've worried about getting there.
Well, I was hoping the way you got out could be our way in.
Maybe when we get there we can think about that. But, you don't look like you've travelled the desert. And I've only done it once. I travelled only
We'll
at
see.
night.
Okay.
Because the heat is too much. I'm ready to go when you are.
Should we get supplies today and then wait for night to head out?
You'll need more water than you think. Even if you've got more than you think.
We'll need an
Yes.
abundance of supplies for this one.
You can see like a haggard look in her eyes. Like perhaps the journey itself was very traumatic for her the first time.
That makes it suck even more to have to do this then.
Yeah, she's not looking forward to it.
Alright.
So, in general, I think it's fair we can just sort of time skip a little bit. Let you guys sort of buy up a lot of water. Is there anything weird that you guys would want to purchase to travel across the desert? Apart from
I don't
5
know.
camels.
How much are 5 camels?
150 gold each, but like I said, I'm not sure Galthak would be able to ride a camel, or a camel would put up with him
Probably not,
being
no.
on its back.
Well, this might sound weird, but it isn't when you think about it. We need suitable loose-fitting clothing.
Camels
White
can carry
covering.
900 pounds, just saying. Just
Yeah.
had to look it up.
Me too.
Oh my
900
God,
pounds
no.
is pretty impressive for 25 miles a day.
Whoa.
Okay, maybe a particularly large camel that can fit someone of my stature would work, but
Yeah, we can double up. We don't need 5. Well, we're gonna come back with 2 more girls, though.
yeah, that's when you want to double up, right?
Yeah.
I have to copy paste this into chat. I can't. I'm looking at how much a camel can carry, and it says any couples that exceed the combined weight of 375 pounds will be required to ride on their own camel.
Wow.
Which implies to me that Galthak probably... My biggest problem with Galthak riding on a camel is the shape of Galthak is not a normal size, right?
Yes, exactly.
But I'm just... That gave me a proper chuckle. If you're too fat, you've got to go on your own camel, damn it!
Yeah.
Yep.
It wouldn't be out of the question to get a camel to carry perhaps a tent, and maybe, if necessary, the girls
Yeah.
when we are leaving.
Yeah, I would say that 6 camels will be enough for the lot of you to get there and back, if you wish. Do you happen to have 900 gold?
I don't know that we have that money.
No.
No.
I don't know how much money we have, so.
No, I think
Well,
Karina is the only
actually,
person
we
who
have-
knows.
We have actually 945.
Cool. Well, you're going to get 10,000 when you get back, so you might as well spend the lot.
Sure.
Okay, I thought
we
we
need
were
desert
broke.
clothing though.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, they'll give you. She'll sort of show you where you can get these sort of white, sort of vague fabrics, special desert tents, and sort of stuff. Well, I mean, maybe Maisa will, or somebody else will. I don't know. We didn't make that bit up. With perfect clothing and water and camels, because why the fuck not, right? Camels are cool. I want to know what you're going to do with
Yeah.
camels when you get home. I'm looking forward to
We
Winona
want them
starting.
to have, not to rent.
Winona's, yeah, of course. You don't rent a camel. They think you're going to bring it back.
Oh, well, I'm just excited to have a camel now when
I'm
we get
looking
home.
forward to Winona's camel farm.
Yeah, this is my story now. After the time skip,
new
that's what I'm
main
doing.
storyline. Anyway, yeah, you're able to set out at sort of 7:30 in the evening as sunset is coming. As the cold night falls in the desert, it is very cold at night, but you're well wrapped. Does anybody have a more unnatural way of keeping warm? Does anybody have anything special or clever going on? I mean, apart from being a Goliath.
Yeah, I was going to say, being a Goliath.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at this level.
No, I mean, I think technically prestidigitation can keep you warm to a point. If you have it.
I'm fine. I'm resistant to the cold.
Yeah, you're sitting under the sea. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as you camel away, Galfa, give me an animal handling check. Let's see how that's going for you.
Yes. We gave
you too, Winona. Like that camel is it's not even sure you're on its back.
Well, okay. Then we can share. What are we doing? Animal handling?
Share with somebody who can guide you. Is that the plan? Luca's very good with animals, if you wish.
I
Yeah.
don't think. Well, we know I won't be able to share, but my camel will be fine.
Your camel is behaving itself. Your strong arms are guiding it well. Yeah, cool. All of you are sort of doing all right here. For Kai, it's no different from a horse or any other weird thing he's been asked to do since he came. Well, they've been asked to do since they come on land. You know, it's a sort of get on a boat. He's all right. Get on a horse. Yeah, sure, whatever. Go on a camel. Go on a desert where there's no water. Yeah, why not? You know, and really the biggest problem Luca is having is that the dragon and the camel don't seem to be getting on particularly well.
Oh, that's right. That's how he speaks with animals. So the dragon's
The dragon speaks with animals. The dragon's just there going, "Come on, camel, you uncouth idiot."
Just curious, how much did we spend?
900. I didn't charge you for water and desert clothing. You probably just traded your winter gear for desert gear. Right, and then, yeah. As the first night comes in, it's freezing cold out here, but you guys are able to make your way across the desert. A couple of times you see strange and unusual beasts coming your way, but frankly they're more intimidated by you than you are of them. And after the first night, you sort of find yourselves in these sort of desert tents which are blended into the desert ground, and the sand in fact will whip over them till you're almost completely invisible as you crawl in and hide from the heat. In these desert tents, night falls again, and you just imagine this one girl with no tent, and probably a couple of water skins, making this journey on her own. Josephine looks haunted as she travels across the desert, and as she sort of takes you round certain dunes and hills, you get to notice that it's almost impossible to navigate out here unless it's by the stars. And she points out, upon sort of discussion of this, she points out the one star that you would all recognize from Andromeda, the main constellation back home, which lies to the very east. I just followed home, she says. Just followed home. And luckily, she came across Anoch Sul instead. Nevertheless, second night passes with difficult travel, but you guys are able to cope with the nighttime journey, and again the creatures keep at bay. And after much the same day and much the same night on the third day, you find yourselves confronted with a large fortress. Wait, you guys can't see. Yeah, cool. And you find yourselves here approximately. I don't know if that ping works for you.
I didn't catch it.
Can you do it again?
There it is.
Okay. Here I go.
Me.
Big old Galback.
God, I'm like falling from the sky onto the roof of this building. Now, it's fair to say you're not actually here. Okay, guys, you're probably...
We didn't just walk up to the front gate?
No, you didn't.
What?
You're approximately 300 feet to the southwest. And as you crest the top of a hill, she sort of points down, and... Yeah, so it's fair to say, actually, let's do that. Let's do you over here. But you're all the way, sort of... We're going to draw a little line so we remember next week. Yeah, let's draw in yellow on the sand, James. That'll help.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put a little...
That's a lot of guards, guys.
Yeah, you begin to... I mean, I don't know how many of them you can see. I don't know how many are sort of visible to you guys, but I imagine you can at least see the archers on the walls, right?
Oh, yeah.
Several archers on the wall.
Cool. Yeah, and this is a constant patrol. You see guards walking to and fro, all wearing the same sort of garb of sort of a white turban and a red and white sort of light shirt and sabers and bows. And as you look down at the fortress and decide how to proceed, I think we can end there. So we have Luca for the journey in. And we'll come to MVPs. Cool. Yeah, Jay. We'll come to you first.
Back when we were talking with the Tiefling and Galthic, just very bluntly asked, so the man is...
Yeah.
Yeah. No subtlety.
Michaela.
Yeah, I would say Kai's whole interaction with that woman at the table who was feeling him and then just unimpressed, and then they came back and turned it around. That was very fun. But it was fun watching also Jay's face just being like so uncomfortable with this woman coming on to
Good. Yeah, it's always weird for me when I'm role-playing those scenarios, and I'm just like, sort of sitting there just going, sorry, Jay!
No, it's
sort of, come
it's
on, you as a
fine.
tiefling woman.
It's just fine. It's just amusing because they're assuming my character's male.
Well, yes and no. They're assuming that they're interesting, and, you know, as women, sort of who are straight in their minds, right, they've just sort of gone, that's something we understand. I'm not sure about the biological systems of Tritons, and frankly, I'm not sure I'm going to explore it. But I think, yeah, I have to sort of pitch it in medieval terms, right? They hunger for the man, so therefore they assume you the man. If you want to whip out your whatever it is and surprise them, tentacles.
There's nothing to whip. But the point is, there's nothing to whip out.
Whip out your Barbie doll figure and confuse the shit out of them. Be my guest. But in the meantime, yeah. In medieval terms, I always do have to sort of do that, and I'm sorry that it feels a little... But I have to, you know, they have to have an interest, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It's just more of the point, like, biologically, Kai is female.
Oh, right. I didn't know that. So, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jamel.
500 gold Goliath.
I was wondering where to put that price at. Yeah.
Absolutely. What is this? A bargain basement?
I was so glad Alora was so willing to play along and be like, $750. That was great
zeros
fun.
on the end of that? Yeah.
No. I wouldn't pay $750 for your silly Goliath. You'd be the most intractable slave ever. You'd be a nightmare. Speaking of which, Alora.
Just as completely fumbling through conversations, trying to figure out how the heck we say things without saying things.
Yeah. There were 3 different routes to finding the girl who escaped from the harem. If you had have gone to like the really rich temple districts, there would have been rumors of her hiding. And if you'd gone to the poor district, it would have been the person, or like the workers district, it would have been the person who's been getting her food. And the merchant district was the third. So I didn't know how long it would take to get to one of those 3. But I was glad that you guys sort of... Well, you fumbled well, though, right? You didn't draw too much attention to yourselves. You were always going to be somewhat followed by the guards, right? Just because
You didn't give any information to the first wine guy. I was proud of us.
No, you didn't give anything at all. And Shasib was... So Shasib, I was so glad you went to the merchant district, because Shasib is based on a character that I absolutely love. From... Weirdly enough, the Forgotten Realms books, The Legend of Drist. So they rock up to this desert stall in Kalimshan, and the guy, like, he sells them like camels and directions and everything. And basically they get on these camels and they go down there and they're accosted by like 40 bandits. And the guy was just a complete lying arsehole, but he basically sold them everything, and he was so convincing in his ways, and then basically he was just an informant. And I've always been inspired by him.
So his alcohol, that was just
it was really potent wine hidden in like
juice, right?
super sweet fruit juice, basically.
Alright,
it was basically serving you like a vodka cranberry with extra sugar.
That's what I thought it was. I thought it was like,
Yeah.
it's like it's just spirits mixed with fruit juice, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Figures.
so I had a couple of MVPs. First of all is the fact that you guys were so careful. I was really pleased by that. Like, when I'd given the warning beforehand, I meant be careful when you get to the fortress. Don't just try and fight your way in. But this was really like, yeah, it was really well thought out and subtle of you guys, and it made it an episode worth having, right? Obviously, we've spaced out a little bit, but I do think next episode will probably be the finale of the pre-campaign.
If it's as quick
Hopefully.
as you think it's going to be, yeah.
Well, provided we don't have a 5.5 hour combat with you all dying, yeah.
Okay, let's try and avoid that.
And then we bring in the actual heroes.
Yeah, exactly, right? Those guys died, so some other guys rescued the princess, and here they are. They're weirdly similar.
The guy from episode 1 who's just like been listening to the story. I'm like, okay, but when do we get to you guys?
Yeah, I know, right? I remember that flashback. That was good. But yeah, no, cool. Anyway, that's where we're going to end. So if you guys would like to say goodbye,
Till next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.
we shall see you soon.